certain individuals who truly are heroes of Pakistan, but unfortunately history has forgotten them. And the reason for that, quite frankly, is their religion.
Hazrat Chaudhry Zafrullah Khan Sahib, a prominent companion of the Promised Messiah.
But what connection does he have with Pakistan?
He was a true titan when it comes to Pakistani pioneers. Dr. Abdul Salam Sahib, he was an academic, he was a scientist.
And it's very unfortunate that the books of history don't really mention his name when it comes to that, even though he played a massive role in that. He would say that I lived as a Pakistani and I'm going to die as a Pakistani. And he's a pioneer, Mirza Ahmad Sahib.
Yes.
He, in fact, is part of the blessed progeny of the Promised Messiah. He was a son of Hazrat Mirza Bashir Ahmad M.A. Sahib, son of the Promised Messiah. And he, again, played a massive role when it came to the economics of Pakistan. The great and famous poet of Pakistan, Ubaidullah Aleem Sahib. His story, again, is very unfortunate. He was a very capable poet. General Iftikhar Khan Janjua Sahib, he was a general in the army of Pakistan. If, God forbid, we as Ahmadis were traitors of Pakistan and we had animosity towards Pakistan, how would we get to those stages? Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Daniel, you're a Pakistani, I'm guessing, by heritage.
Last time I checked, yes.
And today we're talking about the heroes of Pakistan. And if you ask any Pakistani about their heroes of their country, what are the typical names that come to their minds?
For the average Pakistani, I'm guessing, and you might be with me on that because you're also of Pakistani heritage.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yes. I'm guessing people like Imran Khan, potentially, former Prime Minister.
Yeah. The Qaid-e-Azam, Muhammad Ali Jinnah, the founder of Pakistan.
Yes.
You've got Allama Iqbal. Many cricket players, they will come as heroes.
There's Afridi.
Of course, Shahid Afridi, There are many people that come to mind when we speak about heroes. Yeah. But today we're going to speak about certain individuals who truly are heroes of Pakistan, but unfortunately history has forgotten them, and also the people of Pakistan have somewhat forsaken those people. And the reason for that, quite frankly, is their religion, their religious ideologies. It really is a good opportunity for us to delve into some of these individuals and speak about them.
Because a lot of these heroes actually had a lot of contributions to do with the independence itself as well, and the immediate years following the independence.
Absolutely. And the other thing which we really need to speak about is that as Ahmadis, the reality for a lot of those Ahmadis living in Pakistan is that they are labelled as traitors of the country. And yes, the circumstances for Ahmadis are very difficult in Pakistan, but that doesn't mean that Ahmadis or Pakistani Ahmadis do not love their country. So we're going to speak about some of those individuals, and as you mentioned, some of these individuals had direct role when it came to the independence of Pakistan. And, let me start off with the first individual. I'm pretty sure you recognize this image, right, of this certain individual.
Of course. I think almost all Ahmadis around the world would. That's Hazrat Chaudhry Zafrullah Khan Sahib, a prominent companion of the Promised Messiah, alayhi salam, which means that he had the honor of meeting the Promised Messiah, peace be upon him, himself, and accepting the Jamaat at his hands. Yeah,
so he's a very prominent part of the Ahmadi Muslim Jamaat. He was, as you mentioned, the companion of the Promised Messiah. But what connection does he have with Pakistan? How is he a hero for Pakistan?
That's an interesting one, because if you think about it, he was not a Pakistani for the majority of his life.
Yeah.
Because he was born in 1893 in British India.
Yeah.
And Pakistan only gained independence, as you mentioned, on the 14th of August, 1947. So he was well into his professional life, his personal life, when Pakistan was created. And before that, he was a British Indian.
Absolutely.
As soon as Pakistan was established, he was appointed as the first or the debut foreign minister of Pakistan, which is one of the highest diplomatic posts any country gives to any of its citizens.
Absolutely.
And that was right off the bat.
Absolutely. And then he went on to serve not only his country, but he also served many other Muslim countries. He took care of them. And then later, as he developed in his profession, he He ended up being, or nominated as the president of the International Court of Justice, the UN, and these are achievements of Hazrat Chaudhry Zafarullah Khan Sahab. And when it comes to the formation of Pakistan, we all know about Quaid-e-Azam, Muhammad Ali Jinnah Sahib. He was a very close advisory of Muhammad Ali Jinnah. And if we get into some historical context, especially when there were talks about the partition and the boundary commission was happening, he was playing a major role.
Yep.
He was directly appointed by Muhammad Ali Jinnah Sahib as the lawyer that would represent Muhammad Ali Jinnah Sahib. So he was an advisory to Muhammad Ali Jinnah and the future prime ministers as well that came. So he was very, very close when it came to the formation of Pakistan and also the future of Pakistan.
Absolutely, he was a true titan when it comes to Pakistani pioneers. And he was, as you mentioned, he was part of the voices that led, the case for a separate Muslim nation in the Ratcliffe Commission, which was the commission which was established to draw the boundaries of the new countries in South Asia. He was appointed as the Chief Judge of the International Court of Justice, ICJ, later on in his life. But before that, he was even the President of the General Assembly of the UN, and that honor is unique to him, that he was the only Pakistani to hold both of those offices.
Yeah.
That's very unique to him. And he wasn't just the first Pakistani to be the President of the General Assembly, he was in fact the first Asian to be, to hold that post. And aside from that, he also represented Pakistan in 1961 as the permanent representative of Pakistan to the United Nations. So throughout his career, his professional career, he was representing Pakistan, whether as a direct representative of the country or even an indirect. When he was serving as the chief judge, he didn't have a bias towards Pakistan as a judge, but he was a Pakistani at that post. So he always had that, deep love and affection for his country, and that's eventually where he returned to as well after serving in these different posts. He was
absolutely. You just mentioned him being the first Pakistani to hold these positions. I want to move on to another personality, another individual who is commonly, attributed with these titles: first Muslim, first Pakistani. And again, I would like to show a picture to you. I'm pretty sure you would instantly recognize this picture.
Of course,
First Muslim.
Professor Dr. Abdul Salam Sahib.
Absolutely. Yes. He was also a titan when it came to the field of science, but also a veteran, for Pakistan.
Yeah, and a completely different type of life direction and route to Hazrat Chaudhry Sahib, who was obviously a judge, a jurist and a politician in his career. But Dr. Abdul Salam Sahib, he was an academic, he was a scientist. He led and was part of Pakistan's efforts to create nuclear power. That's for both energy purposes and also for warfare purposes as well, as a deterrent. And he's absolutely, probably one of the most recognizable Pakistanis to even the people in Pakistan. They have to admit that as well. And then not just in Pakistan, in fact, when I visited, I believe it was Imperial College here in London, I saw that one of the buildings is called the Dr. Abdul Salam buildings. So his contributions to science and physics are immensely appreciated, so much so that it culminated in a Nobel Prize. And that was his crowning achievement, the first Pakistani and Muslim, and the only Pakistani to achieve a Nobel Prize.
Absolutely. And the thing is, this is just the field of science, and he's a well-renowned scientist amongst the field of physics. But when it comes to Pakistan, because we're speaking about Pakistan and how he was a veteran for the country, there are some services that he contributed for Pakistan or towards Pakistan, and one of those things is called, of course, the nuclear program of Pakistan. And it's very unfortunate that the books of history don't really mention his name when it comes to that, even though he played a massive role in that. He contributed and was behind, was one of the minds behind what Pakistan has today. And again, as we're speaking about unsung heroes, he truly fits that definition, that he is an unsung hero. If it wasn't for him, there's a possibility that what we have today in Pakistan might not have been there. And
Absolutely.
he's been forgotten, unfortunately.
Yeah, he's been shunned, and opponents have even tried to defame him, where they've tried to say that he's selling state secrets about the nuclear programs and nuclear weapons to other countries. And it turned out those same exact people who were trying to spread this false news and propaganda were the ones who were complicit in such acts. And you know, he lived outside of Pakistan for a while, and he had a lot of difficulties personally as well. He wrote in his own memoirs and diaries about how heartbroken he was about how the Ahmady community that he was a part of was being treated and ostracized in Pakistan and suppressed. But just because he was living outside of Pakistan for a while, he had a research institute in Italy, doesn't mean that he wasn't a patriot. He still was a patriot.
Absolutely.
And that's shown through the fact that he kept visiting Pakistan to help with its nuclear program. He was even sent as a representative by the then president of Pakistan to China to meet the Chinese premier to discuss options of trading knowledge with regards to the nuclear program.
You're talking about the institute in Italy. If you read about his life, he had this desire to bring this institute or find an institute in Pakistan or fund an institute in Pakistan that would educate the youth of Pakistan. He had this desire. He wanted to bring about a change in Pakistan.
Yes.
And just because he was an Ahmadi, he never got that opportunity, and this is why he had to go elsewhere and do something about it. But if you read about his life, he would say that I lived as a Pakistani and I'm going to die as a Pakistani. So even though these opponents tried to shun him away, at heart, he was always passionate about Pakistan. He always spoke about Pakistan, and there was always this genuine love for the country.
Another titan, another pioneering Pakistanis actually. Let's see if you recognize him.
Yeah, as you mentioned, he's a pioneer, Mirza Ahmad Sahib.
Yes.
He, in fact, is part of the blessed progeny of the Promised Messiah. He was a son of Hazrat Mirza Ahmad Sahib, son of the Promised Messiah. And he, again, played a massive role when it came to the economics of Pakistan. He was the finance minister of Pakistan from 1963 to 66. And what's really interesting, and when I was reading about him, I came across a picture of a 1 rupiah note of Pakistan, and when I was looking at it, I saw his signature on that note. So his name has been ingrained on that 1 rupiah note.
Wow. And
it's just because it speaks about his title, the Secretary of the Finance Ministry of Pakistan in Urdu. And I was surprised, I was taken back. It just shows how much, how advanced he had gone into the economics of Pakistan and how influential he had become.
Yeah.
And if, God forbid, we as Ahmadis were traitors of Pakistan and we had animosity towards Pakistan, how would we get to those stages? It's unfathomable. You can't even imagine how can these traitors get to these positions, and where they're serving the country in a way which is making the country better.
Exactly, yeah. They're serving the people's best interest, the country's best interest. And that was shown through the fact that the President of Pakistan at the time, Field Marshal General Muhammad Ayub Khan, appointed, as he is colloquially known, popularly known as Ahmad, he appointed him as Deputy Chairman of the Planning Commission. And that was a position that the President had himself held previously before that. So that's an extremely important position in the eyes of the President, clearly, because he was in that position as well. And he appointed him for that. And during that tenure, Ahmad, under his supervision, Pakistan's 5-year development plan was prepared, and that included lots of dams and canals throughout the country to improve the infrastructure and the economic situation of the country, and which did improve at the time, especially in those early few decades. And then aside from that, during the rule of President General Yahya Khan, Ahmad served as the president's economic advisor, which would be a post equivalent to a federal minister at the time. So he has been representing and advising presidents and the economic side of Pakistan, in at least the early Pakistan, for a long time.
The decade of the 60s, from the 60s to the 70s, that's usually known as the golden age of Pakistan. This is where the economy of Pakistan was booming. And him being in the epicenter of that, shows something.
And he continued serving his country even after he had left the country. As you would know, that when the war between East Pakistan and West Pakistan, which is East Pakistan is modern day Bangladesh now, commenced, he left the country and moved to Washington, D.C. in the United States, where he served in different posts as well.
Yeah, and he managed to, land a job in the World Bank. And it wasn't just a small job that he was doing. He was quite high-ranking individual in that World Bank, whereby he was, he was appointed as the executive director of World Bank, and that's not a small thing. Coming from Pakistan, and one of the reasons why he left Pakistan is because of the animosity towards Ahmadis. There was an assassination attempt on his life that was made, and then eventually he had to leave the country because he no longer was safe in a country where he served.
Yeah.
And those people that he was serving were after his life just because he was an Ahmadi.
It's unfortunate because he didn't only serve in the World Bank, he also served in the IMF as well, International Monetary Fund. And during his illustrious career, he was also at points specifically designated to look after the economic situation of Pakistan. So even when he was outside of Pakistan, in separate institutions to the country, he was still tasked with looking after the economic situation of Pakistan, which he tried with his best efforts. And even towards the end of his life, he attained the ripe old age of 89 when he passed away. He was always concerned about the welfare of Pakistan.
Yeah, so we've just spoken about 3 great individuals, and 2 of those individuals were in the field of politics and the economy of Pakistan. One individual was representing Pakistan when it came to sciences. Are there any other individuals who, were legends, as you could say, of Pakistan?
Absolutely. So we've covered an economist, we've covered a scientist, we've covered a lawyer, and do you know who this is?
Yeah, this person is known to every Ahmadi Pakistani. This is the great and famous poet of Pakistan, Ubaidullah Aleem Sahib. His story again is very unfortunate. He was a very capable poet, and he started his career as a producer in the Pakistani television, PTV, and this was in the late 60s, 67, and he was very capable. Not only was he a great producer, but he was a great poet, and the poem lovers admired him in Pakistan. His poems, when they were read out on TV, they were loved. So he wrote a few books on poetry that were very famous in Pakistan, such as Jaan Chehra Star Aankhein. But it was because of Ahmadiyyat that he was held back. Now, being a producer, of course, in that environment, you gradually develop and you are promoted in rank. But because he was an Ahmadi, the promotion never happened. And the juniors that came after him, and those who he had vetted, they gradually outranked him and surpassed him. And these individuals were also concerned about him because at the end of the day, he was like a teacher to them. And they all would always bring this up, that you should be at a higher rank. And he knew that the reason why this was happening was because of an Ahmadi. And he had ample opportunities because he was traveling around the world. He had ample opportunities to leave Pakistan and settle elsewhere. But he was determined that Pakistan is his home and this is where he's going to live, irrelevant of what happens and what people say about him. And he was there till his demise. And even in his poetry, there are many couplets in which he speaks about Pakistan. He refers to Pakistan, that this is my country, I am attached to this country. And no matter what happens, I'll be amongst the loyal ones. So his love for Pakistan can be seen through his poetry. But again, he was held back because of Ahmadi. A story that a lot of Ahmadi Pakistanis can relate to.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he was recognized. You mentioned his literary and poetic capabilities. He was recognized by the country officially as well, where with his first book of poetry when it was published in 1974. He received the highest award provided by the literary governing body of Pakistan, called the Adamji Award, for his book. And that's how you know that he wasn't just a poet who are part of the community that he was part of, the Ahmadis, considered to be, great. The country itself actually recognized his talents. But,
and a lot of Ahmadis would recognize some of the videos that are there of him and Khalifa Masih Rabi Rahimullah, where they're sitting together and they're having, he's reciting his poetry, and Khalifa Masih Rabi Rahimullah is enjoying the poems that he's presenting, and there's a lot of laughter amongst the audience. So this is what us Ahmadis know about Ubaid al-Aleem Sahib. But he was, again, as I was mentioning, he was a poet that was known by the literates of Pakistan, and he was invited to these poetry programs where he would recite his poetry. It wasn't just within Jamaat where he was reciting his poetry, even outside universities, and he was asked to come and present his poetry. And ultimately he had to resign from PTV because they weren't promoting him, and the reason behind that was Ahmadiyyat, yet the people of the country forgotten him.
Absolutely. So in addition to academics and politicians and lawyers, we also have prominent Ahmadi Pakistanis who served in various roles and capacities in the Pakistani armed forces. And obviously that's an extremely important sector for any country, the defense of the country. And these prominent Pakistanis, they defended their country tooth and nail, as far as they could, as much as they could.
Absolutely.
And it was the same case of, they could only get so far because the country institutionally, systematically would not let them progress further, but they did whatever they could. And one of these is actually this gentleman right here.
Absolutely.
If you recognize him, that's Lieutenant General Akhtar Hussain Malik Sahib. And he was very well known for his roles during the 1965 wars with India and his contributions in the campaigns in Kashmir. And again, it was a case of where he was making progress, but then eventually the president appointed a general who he favored to take over, and the mission ultimately failed. And the only reason he was replaced was because if he had won, then the glory would have gone to an Ahmadi Pakistani general, which couldn't be allowed according to that system. And he wasn't the only, top military officer, was he?
Absolutely not. So we've got another example where General Iftikhar Khan Janjua Sahib, he was a general in the army of Pakistan, and he was a very high-ranking general. And again, you mentioned that these individuals, they serve their country tooth and nail. And this individual, in fact, sacrificed his life for Pakistan. We speak about serving the nation, and we, in our oaths and pledges, we speak about serving the community, the nation, and he really lived by that. And in one of the battles in 1971, he was martyred, and the Pakistani government actually recognized his bravery and his valiant way of fighting in those battles and giving up his life. And he's an individual that served his country, but because he was an Ahmadi, he never was promoted. But despite that, knowing that he will never progress in those ranks because he's an Ahmadi, he served his country and he gave up his life for that country that he loved.
Absolutely, and there are many more examples as well. We have Lieutenant General Abdul Ali Malik Sahib, who was actually the brother of General Akhtar Hussain Sahib, and he was equally important in the war efforts. We have a lot of other major contributors as well. We have Captain Nazir Ahmed Sahib, we have Squadron Leader Khalifa Muniruddin Ahmad Sahib, who was actually the son of a companion of the Promised Messiah. He was the son of Hazrat Dr. Khalifa Rashiduddin Raziyallahu anhu, and he actually was martyred as well on the 11th of September 1965. And out of all of these, one that really stands out to me is Major General retired Nasir Chaudhry Sahib. He was an Ahmadi who served in the Pakistani army, and the sad thing is that he was martyred during the Lahore attacks of 28th of May 2010. And if you think about that for a second, that this man was serving to protect the country throughout his life, and he didn't attain martyrdom during that era of his life, not whilst he was protecting his country, but after he had done his bit and he had retired and stepped back into personal life. And he was just praying. He was fulfilling his religious obligations. And we all know about the story of the tragic events of the Lahore attacks, but he was martyred at that moment after having served the country so well. It just goes to show that their efforts and their legacies are truly underappreciated. And it's interesting to me because Hazrat Khalifatul Masih V, he's mentioned this in his sermon as well, that Hazrat Muslim Maud Radhiyallahu Anhu, he spoke about the fact that the early Muslim armies under Hazrat Umar, they didn't consist of only Muslims or only Arabs, they consisted of people from all walks of life. And their efforts were appreciated, and their intellect and their strategic planning capabilities were absolutely appreciated. Their fighting capabilities were utilized, and they were given the due honor that they were due. But it's strange how Ahmadis who consider themselves Muslims and the Pakistanis might not consider them Muslims.
Yeah.
In fact, I saw a recent article, or an article from 2 years ago actually, that mentioned that these are 5 members of the Pakistani armed forces, non-Muslim members, who served the armed forces of Pakistan in great roles, and they represent the white part of the flag because that's supposed to represent the minorities. Yeah. And these Ahmadi generals, they were mentioned in that article as well. It's really sad that, at least in that article they're giving some sort of credit, but it's sad that we are not even learning from the example of the caliphs of the Holy Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him.
Yeah, it is sad because history's kind of forgotten these members who served their country, and we've just picked a handful of those. There's so many more examples that can be given, and how they served their country and gave up their lives for their country. And there's so many people that we know as well who served in the Pakistani armed forces.
Yeah.
But because they're Ahmadis, and you hear this from every single one of them, that because of Ahmadiyyat, because of being who they were, they were never given that promotion, and they were there to serve the country. There was no desire to have something, in return. They were purely there because they loved the country, and this is something that's, again, as I've mentioned before, instilled in each individual. So this was the armed forces. Another, interesting thing that our Pakistani fellows love and they speak about is cricket. Cricket is something that each Pakistani, hails about. The Pakistani cricket team. Whenever there's a match, they all go behind the TV and watch it and see what's happening. And, cricket is one thing that really brings Pakistanis together. I don't know if you've had experience of, watching cricket at home and seeing the Pakistani cricket team. And whatever happens, whether they win or lose, but it's something that really brings everyone together.
Yeah.
And, there's another very famous, well, I won't say famous, but an unsung hero that belonged to the Ahmadi Muslim community and was part of the Pakistani cricket team. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people wouldn't really know. I'm going to show you a picture of him. Do you recognize him?
Yes, you're right. Most people wouldn't recognize him, but that's Nasir Malik. And he is famous for being the very first person. He was a bowler in cricket, and he was the very first person to, throw a ball in cricket at the very first Cricket World Cup in 1975. So he has that honor. So he wasn't just the first Pakistani for the Pakistan national team, but overall, out of all cricketers in the world, he was the very first person to throw that ball.
And what's interesting? He actually came in as a batter, as a batsman.
Yeah.
So he was, he was good at batting. And whilst training, they realised that he's really good at bowling as well. So they said to him that you should pursue bowling, and he started to bowl. And that's how his story begins. But again, the one thing that's interesting is that he was an Ahmadi that was there to serve his country in the realm of sports, in the realm of cricket. So we've seen that Pakistani Ahmadis are not only serving as economists, as scientists, as lawyers, or as army generals, but they're also serving the nation through sports. A sportsman, an Ahmadi Pakistani sportsman who has the title of being the first ever bowler for Pakistan to bowl in the World Cup.
Yeah.
Now, that's something which is historic. But again, history doesn't remember him. And why is that?
Because he was Ahmadi.
Because he was an Ahmadi. Simple fact is that Ahmadiyat is the reason why they don't want to remember these heroes of Pakistan. Hence, they are the unsung heroes of Pakistan.
I feel like we've covered so many interesting personalities and so many varying sectors as well. But there is one person that we should, give due acknowledgement to in the role of not just representing Pakistan, but creating Pakistan as well. And that's Hazrat Muslim Maud.
Absolutely. Hazrat Muslim, we can't end this discussion or talk without mentioning the name of Hazrat Muslim. He was a very proud Pakistani and he loved Pakistan, and his role when it comes to the creation of Pakistan is something that we're not really told of, especially in the Pakistan's history or the Pakistani history. That's something that's really left out. And he was that driving force behind these individuals, such as Sir Chaudhry Zafarullah Khan Sahib. He was there guiding them at every stage, what to do, what steps to take. When the talks were being made of a separate nation for the Muslims, the guidance that he was giving. When Pakistan was established, he gave consecutive lectures on the future of Pakistan. He laid down the foundations of a better future for Pakistan. What they should do when it comes to economy. What should they do for their, for the social life of Pakistan. What they should do for their armed forces. What steps that they should take. How could they ensure that Pakistan would have a brighter future. And he was doing this out of genuine love for the nation. And he was that driving force behind these unsung heroes. And his role when it comes to the establishment of Pakistan is something that we can speak about for hours and hours. But as you mentioned, due to the shortage of time, it's important that we acknowledge him as one of the highest when it comes to the unsung heroes of Pakistan.
Yeah, and as an extension of him, it's also worth mentioning the non-popular, the non-famous heroes of Pakistan, the Ahmadis living there currently who are going through so much difficulty, so much persecution and oppression and suppression. We have obviously the heroes known as the Lahore martyrs. We have the everyday Ahmadi over there who is struggling because of the state-sponsored and systematic persecution that the Ahmadis are going through there. So I think that they are also part of this great lineup of heroes. People might not know them because they're not famous, but the difficulties and the sacrifices that they're making, they are definitely unsung heroes as well.
And despite that, they are serving the country, whether it's doctors, whether it's nurses, whether it's dentists, whether it's engineers, whatever line of profession you look into, there are Ahmadis who are serving the country, despite knowing that their fellow country men and women are against them because of their religious beliefs. And so truly, they are also the unsung heroes of Pakistan, which we all should remember in our prayers and pray for them and pray that Allah makes their lives easier in Pakistan, and the world recognizes the sacrifice that they're giving for their country.